40 years in the shadows ended in a naval strike. Hezbollah's southern front chief is gone, but Israel doesn't stop there. Beirut, Iran, tunnels, chemical links, targets falling in rapid succession. A leadership unravels, a network exposed, but as the list nears 100%, what comes after total destruction? For more than 40 years, Hajj Youssef Ismail Hashem moved through the ranks of Hezbollah, quietly, methodically, and with deadly purpose. On March 31st, his run ended. The Israeli Navy struck Beirut and killed Hashem, the commander of Hezbollah's southern front, the unit responsible for rocket fire into Israel and operations against IDF forces in southern Lebanon. He wasn't just another commander. He was, as the IDF put it,
Hashem is considered a commander with over 40 years of experience and is one of the main pillars of Hezbollah.
The IDF's Arabic language spokesperson, Avichai Adraei, confirmed the strike on Tuesday, stating,
"The Navy struck yesterday in Beirut and eliminated the so-called Hajj Youssef Ismail Hashem, commander of the southern front in Hezbollah. Hashem oversaw the launching of rocket projectiles and hostile drones toward Israeli territory and led efforts to rebuild Hezbollah."
Hashem had taken the southern front command after the killing of Ali Karki, who died alongside Hezbollah's Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah during Operation Northern Arrows. Over the years, Hashem ran the Nasser, Aziz, and Badr units, each one pointed directly at Israeli civilians and IDF positions.
Hashem led and advanced thousands of attack plans against citizens of the State of Israel and Defense Army forces.
His death marks another crack in a leadership structure that Israel has been systematically dismantling for months. But Israel wasn't done, not even close. Overnight, the Israeli Air Force carried a strike deep into Iranian territory, hitting the Mahalat area and killing Mahdi Vafaei, the head of the Quds forces' Lebanon Corps engineering branch. According to the IDF, Vafaei was the architect behind underground weapons storage networks, building out tunnel infrastructure for Hezbollah in Lebanon and for Assad's forces in Syria. Then came a second strike. Also on Tuesday, Israel hit a factory owned by the Tawfiq Daru company, which the IDF described as a principal fentanyl supplier to Iran's Defense Ministry research arm, known as SPND. The IDF said the company operated under civilian cover, but its real purpose was feeding Iran's chemical weapons research. The IDF stated,
"The Tawfiq Daru company knowingly and systematically supplied this deadly substance to the SPND organization, which used it to conduct research and development of chemical weapons."
Fentanyl, used medically as an anesthetic, becomes a weapon of mass lethality in concentrated doses, and Iran, according to Israel, was pursuing exactly that. The IDF said precautionary steps were taken to limit civilian casualties and claimed,
"The strike impaired the Iranian terror regime's chemical weapons production capabilities."
All of this comes as Israel announced it expects to have destroyed 100% of its essential target list by Wednesday. Recent strikes have already hit a weapons manufacturing site in Tehran and a uranium enrichment facility in Ardakan. Hamas has issued a fresh call for action against Israel, citing recent legislative developments and ongoing regional hostilities. According to unverified reports, Hamas has urged Hezbollah to intensify efforts to capture Israeli soldiers, in what would mark a potential escalation in tactics across the regional conflict. According to statements attributed to Abu Ubaidah, spokesperson for Hamas's armed wing, the Al-Qassam brigades, the call is framed as part of a broader strategy to secure prisoner exchanges.
Blessed are the efforts of the heroes of the Islamic resistance in Lebanon, who are inflicting heavy losses on the Zionist enemy, the latest being during the significant operation yesterday. We call on them to intensify their efforts to capture Zionist soldiers in order to secure the release of Palestinian and Arab prisoners from the depths of occupation prisons, especially after the approval of the law permitting the execution of prisoners.
The statement underscores a long-standing doctrine within Hamas, linking prisoner releases to the capture of Israeli personnel.
The course of our people's struggle against the Zionists has proven that the shortest path to freeing prisoners is through resistance. Gaza has given much for this cause, and we urge the heroes of Hezbollah to complete the mission. We have faith in God that He will not abandon our free prisoners and will grant them relief and a way out of their suffering.
Ubaida also said recent moves by Israel, including what he described as the approval of a prisoner execution law and actions related to Al-Aqsa Mosque, reflect growing aggression that demands a response.
This Zionist arrogance, most recently demonstrated by the approval of the prisoner execution law, the crime of closing Al-Aqsa, and aggression against our Arab and Islamic peoples, obliges all components of our nation and the free people of the world to exert every possible effort to punish the occupation for its crimes, or at the very least to pressure it into stopping its aggression. That is the weakest level of faith.
He framed the situation as part of a broader regional conflict, calling for increased pressure on Israel amid continuing hostilities. While Hamas has previously signaled its own intent to capture Israeli soldiers, there has been limited verified evidence of direct operational coordination instructing Hezbollah to carry out such actions. Analysts note that Hezbollah has historically explored cross-border abductions as leverage in negotiations, particularly in the context of prisoner exchanges and post-ceasefire bargaining dynamics. However, the authenticity and operational significance of the latest claims remain unconfirmed. If validated, the messaging points to a potential alignment in tactics among Iran-aligned groups, raising the risk of coordinated escalation. But, with verification still pending, the statements highlight as much about information warfare as they do about battlefield intent.